Oh, hey. Welcome to 2025. Cheers. All right, it's time to crack into 2025, and I have got a few builds to go under the way, so let's hope this year's gonna be a big one. As you can see, I'm finally introducing one of the cars we actually got last year, but it's coming to the channel this year. 300 series Land Cruiser. This is actually my partners, and it's what we'll be diving into today. But I also have a complete rebuild coming up of the GU Patrol. Stay tuned for that one. The GQ in the back is hopefully going to get some love this year, and the Hilux is going to progress a little bit further. But anyways, let's jump into this episode because we brought a 300 series after we heard about them blowing up. So did we make a mistake?
Put me in your arms, baby. Yo.
So the 300 was brought into the family with a pretty clear job description. Workhorse by day, tow vehicle by weekend, and let's be honest, a recovery car for when I inevitably break the patrol, doing something, well, ambitious? Now, Josh builds mountain bike trails for a living since hanging up his racing helmet, which means he's hauling tools, a 2-ton digger, and a fair bit of dirt all over New South Wales and beyond. It also pulls double duty carting my vehicles around because apparently I like to make my toys someone else's problem. Sorry, Josh. First order of business was a trip to Superior Engineering for a pre-rego GVM and GCM upgrade with a Lovells Platinum Series kit. I went with the Lovells after doing some extensive research behind the brand. Now they're the leader when it comes to GVM and GCM upgrades. It's been their bread and butter for decades. They've been manufacturing since 1930, so I think it's safe to say they know a thing or two about producing reliable, high quality products. Now this setup gives us a legal combined weight of 7.8 tons. The vehicle can be loaded up to 4.5 tons, and we can also pull up to 4 tons. Now, why do we do this? Because staying insured in a worst case scenario beats explaining to a claims officer why the numbers didn't up. We wanted to make sure we had peace of mind that if worst case scenario we were in an accident, we knew we were covered and we aren't going to have any troubles with the police for the car being illegally set up, since they are cracking down after all. Now let's talk ride quality. GVM upgrades are notorious for turning cars into, well, pogo sticks, but honestly, I was bracing for the worst, and this setup surprised me. Sure, it's no factory cloud, but for a rig with barely any weight in it right now, it's shockingly comfortable with the GVM upgrade. Now, of course, we added some Nitto tires and, well, a set of ROH assaults because apparently I'm incapable of building a car without them. You would have seen them on my Patrol and also on the Hilux. And since paintwork doesn't exactly love flying debris, we slapped the Bush Wraps Advanced DIY PPF kit. It's already been christened by Josh's rally-style driving through the bush, so safe to say, it's earning its keep. So now you're caught up on what we've done with the 300 series. I thought I would dive into probably your most asked question right now, where I said before, we brought a 300 series before we knew they blew up. Because if you're not aware of the online drama, there has been some online drama with these 300 series, let me tell you. So there has been reports of a few 300 series blowing up, and that's not great news, especially when you own one. Especially when you went and did a GVM and GCM upgrade, which seems to be one of the things that Toyota seems to be knocking everyone back on when it comes to their warranty claims if they have engine issues. So this is a bit awkward. Anyways, I do just want to touch on, obviously, I did a GVM and GCM upgrade. Am I concerned about my warranty? Not really, because I know that Lovells will step in. They will cover some components of the car, such as the driveline and transmission. Do contact them first and make sure that's right for your vehicle and the kit you're going. I'm just from information I've been told and researched on, but I know that Lovells can pick up warranties where Toyota may drop them because they have put a lot of effort into testing their gear, and they obviously test drivelines, transmissions, and even engines when they go through an R&D or their products. So they know what the cars are capable of handling and where they're willing to cover, where Toyota may not if something was to go wrong. So that's another thing with peace of mind why I went with the Lovells GVM and GCM kit, because I know that they do cover some things that Toyota may not. The other thing is, I don't own a car that isn't modified. And the reality is there are so many modifications that will void your warranty. And I think I was damned if I do, damned if I didn't in the scenario of the 300 series. We're not going to touch the engine because honestly, it's the best engine and gearbox I've sat behind. It's sharp. I don't even want to tune it. I think it drives incredibly. So thankfully, it's not a want or need to even touch the engine. It's something we're happy to leave alone. So hopefully in that, we can have a bit of respect out of Toyota if something was to go wrong, that has been left alone. The other thing too, I've seen these engines and heard about these engines blowing up and people saying they were denied warranty because they simply ran a bull bar. So I live in the country. We're going to be putting a bull bar in the car, or else there are going to be too many skippies that go through that radiator. I tell you that much. It's a non-negotiable for bull bars on my car. So if they're going to deny 300s blowing up, which I have heard of because it ran a bull bar with spotlights, like, yeah. There's a multitude of reasons that Toyota can deny you warranty, and I have modified cars. They're not going to like me either way. What I am going to do is the modifications that the handbook recommends, such as upgrading the oil, because if you aren't aware, the 300 series runs a 0 to 20 oil. It's a thinner grade oil that obviously a lot of people are kicking a stink up about and thinking is an issue with the 300 series. We did upgrade our oil as per our handbook, and our dealer was more than happy to. The reason people are concerned about this oil is degrading and not dissipating the heat as it should. Another contributing factor to that is the 300 series also has a smaller sump. I believe in the 200 series it was like an 8 litre, and I do believe the 300 is more like a 5 litre sump. So obviously if you have oil that's not dissipating heat, and then you have a smaller sump that's not allowing that extra flow, like a few extra litres could allow that oil to flow around more and disperse that heat better, then there may not be as much as a problem. But I'm no mechanic, so I'm not going to give you advice on that. I encourage you to do your own research. I found all this information online on what people think is going wrong. The top thing really everyone is complaining about is the oil. So I've done what I can as per the handbook to not void my warranty and upgrade it to a different grade of oil that Toyota will allow me to do. And that's as much as I can do in that aspect. The other thing that I can do is not continuously push into my structural GVM and GCM upgrade, which I know sounds silly when you spend all this money on a car to not use it before you upgrade it. But that was never our intention, to constantly be pulling 4 ton or constantly be loaded to 4.5 ton GVM. So the most this car will tow will be 2 ton, which will be Josh's digger, which will sit in our factory GVM and our GCM. So we aren't pushing continuously beyond Toyota's specs. So hopefully that can be something that can save us in a worst case scenario in terms of Toyota. But the reason we did obviously the GVM and GCM upgrade was because we wanted to be insured, because there will be times when I put my patrol on the trailer. So if I was in an accident and it was illegally loaded and we were towing above our factory GVM or GCM without the structural upgrade from Lovells, we wouldn't be insured. Therefore, the patrol on the trailer is not insured, the 300 series is not insured, and the trailer itself is not insured. And that's a lot of money to throw down the drain. So investing in the GVM and GCM upgrade was worth it for us, for the fact that if we were pushing our factory GVM and GCM, we now have a structural upgrade that allows us to tow and carry more and do it legally and be insured. That was another peace of mind, knowing that no matter what I do, bigger tires and suspension lift was going to happen whether we did a GVM or GCM upgrade, that Toyota probably wouldn't insure. So I've at least gone with a company I know that's given me more benefits, not only lifting and allowing me to run bigger tires, but obviously being able to tow and carry more, keeping me insured, and they will cover some components of the car if something was to go wrong. So that was another benefit of going with the Lovells kit. The only advice I have for anyone in a situation like me, or even looking at a 300 series, is just know what you're going to use the vehicle for. We are still confident to tow with this car because we're not trying to consistently pull a full ton van and do a lap around Australia where we might have to tow from 35 plus degrees, or do 12-hour stints weekly. It's just not something we're putting our car through, and we won't be putting on that extra stress. The reality is, if you're someone that wants to do a lap of Australia, the biggest piece of advice I can give to you is, if you want to try and keep as much warranty factory as possible, is buy a car with a larger factory GVM and GCM. You don't want to be having to structurally upgrade your car. As I said, it will have you insured and allow you to do it legally. But if your goal is to keep Toyota's factory warranty, buy a car and don't mod it, because that's really the only way to not have any issues. And of course, I know there are cars out there that are modified that do get allowed warranty, but if you don't want to have the risk or be arguing with a dealership, the reality is, just don't mod your cars, which who wants to do that? No one. So just do a bit of research into the brand you're going to be working with and upgrading, and seeing where their warranties will step in. when your factory dealer doesn't cover things anymore. The best advice I can give you out of this whole situation is talk to your dealer before you go ahead and buy a car. If you are so concerned about warranties and if you are chasing to get the factory one, because a lot of times if you're someone like me who likes to modify their cars, it's kind of impossible. Or they may say it can, but there's just so many scenarios and there's so many variables, and it really does depend on your dealer. It's just a risk you got to figure out if you're willing to take. So hopefully our risk pays off and it's not an issue for us. Our 300 has been fine so far. It's got over 25,000 Ks and it's still going. So fingers crossed it stays running. Anyway, that's enough rambling for now. We have some drawers to put into the car. We're going to add some weight to it. No, it's fine. The drawers actually aren't that heavy, and like I said, there aren't that many other accessories going on. So let's jump into that. Oh, quickly. This thing, it's hot in here. It's so hot in here. It's a little air cooler. And I've been using this in the shed all the time. So if you're someone who works in the shed all the time, this beats a fan because it actually pushes out cool air rather than pushing hot air around like a fan does. And I use it in my office. It's portable. And I can't wait until I actually have a car that's on the road. And I have a rooftop again, because that in the rooftop in summer, it plugs into 12 volt. Like, it has a USB port as well as your 240 normal outlet. It's going to be a lifesaver. I actually have a discount code. I'll link their website below with my discount code so you can save some money. But if you're someone that's looking for a solution in summer, shed, office, and especially in rooftop tents, throw out your King's fan, because this thing is going to be like aircon in that rooftop tent. Anyway, I've rambled so much, but that thing is my greatest love right now because it is so hot in this shed. Anyway, let's go install some drawers. We're going to jump into installing the latest modification I'm going to put in this back of the car, because I'm going to show you exactly why we need it. Come have a look at this. As you can see, Josh isn't the most organized person. So I did go check out RV Storage Solutions and grab a set of their drawers. It's hopefully going to solve the issues of underwear being left in the car, helmets, tools, and they're just having absolutely no place to live.
Hey. Stop touching my stuff. Oh, and wait a minute.
Wait, that's
yours.
Clean it out. We've got some drawers to put in.
I did go riding.
Absolute mess. So hopefully we can solve this issue without risking our weight too much.
Well, you've been here, look.
I don't drink tropical.
I do.
He does. Is that Josh Green reading instructions?
You don't know how to, so someone's got it.
Normally you tell you don't need instructions.
Construction?
Instructions.
Instructions. No, but on this channel I like to do things properly. Because everything you do is dodgy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's why my main tool using this shed after you is a tap and die set.
Go on, name one thing I've done that's dodgy.
Put your seats in there with your patrol stripped.
Don't know what you're talking about.
The wiring that was in your patrol originally.
Yeah, but that was original owners.
Still you.
Dodgy?
Some sketchy shit. Do that. Yeah.
So we've set up this little dodgy thing.
In the middle of the driveway, halfway down the driveway, which is the K-locks. And I figured that only one car that it would have fallen out of.
Yeah, it's definitely a bolt I've seen in my car before. Just Josh finding that on the driveway. Look, we'll find out when something breaks. Nah.
Okay. Yep.
I wouldn't call any of that dodgy. Where are we at?
No.
Oh.
Could have cleaned it.
Could have cleaned it. Could have cleaned it too, yourself.
Fill the cleaner.
I got you a new pressure washer. I made this life easy.
Nice cutting.
Ah, it's fabulous. I don't complain about it.
Why are you so shiny?
Because it's hot. It's like 40 degrees in here. I'm sweating my ass out. Leave me alone.
Why's your hair going curly?
Because
Oh no.
I ate too many crusts off the bread when I was a child.
Oh yeah, that's all I got. curly chest hairs. It's also why my nut hairs are curly.
No one wants to know that.
What's the damage on the side?
Come on, doesn't strap down things. That's why I got your drawers.
That was actually because I put push bikes in and you drove like a maniac and they fell over.
No.
You just got to drive sensibly.
You drove worse than me. I don't know what you're talking about.
I've got the Toyota stat scores on my phone. I can see your stat scores when you
I
drive.
haven't got a bad one yet.
Hard acceleration, hard brake, and a lot of hard turning.
Julie, can you back that off, please? Now we ugga-dugger. When in doubt, ugga-dugger it out.
Oh my god. That looks very stripped.
Don't talk about.
Better not have stripped it.
Wow, she's still like brand new. Just a little bit crunchy. Is that good enough for you?
I don't know if you should have power tools.
Well, I got my pen license to school, so surely that counts.
I didn't.
Well, what are you doing?
I didn't go to school.
Explains a lot.
Stay in school, kids. You'll end up like Brie.
Yeah, it's not a good thing, trust. Alright, so to fit these drawers, we have opted to remove the rear seats. I don't know what we're going to do with this space because these drawers will come in here eventually. They'll sit on top of this frame. So there is a bit of space here. I've seen people put batteries under here. Some have even got air tanks, which is something we definitely want to look at, but I'm still tossing up the 12-volt options at the moment. So this is going to be blank for now. Bit of a pain, recommend doing it first. You don't have to pull the drawers back out. But we're going to use them and just figure out what we need to fit in extra and then go from there because I don't want to buy something I don't like, fit it out and regret it. But anyway, it was pretty easy to just pull the seats out. This is like the subframe that we literally just put in, put this front infill panel back in, and then it's time. We aren't good at reading instructions, you know what I mean? Constructions, according to Josh. Well, so we're just going to pick up the subframe, try and bolt it in, and I'll let you know how that goes. All right, we're halfway there. It's like an actual sauna in here. Anyways, these are the RV storage solution drawers. I saw these at a four-wheel drive show and actually loved the setups. We walked around to try and actually look for companies that did drawers, and these are the ones we actually liked and that stood out to us. There was so many variations, but what we've gone for, you'll see later, there's going to be a drawer, table, and like a little cutlery drawer, which is like my favourite part. And we opted for a drawer fridge. I went with a Dometic. I believe this is a 30-litre. Reason being, Josh will use this for work, so sometimes you'll have lunch supplies, waters, Red Bull, of course. But if we ever did some bigger trips, we do have a chest fridge that we could just stack on top of the drawers if we ever needed it. But on a day-to-day use, we don't need such a big fridge in this car, so there was no point going for like an upright 85-litre because it's just more unnecessary weight that we wouldn't need to carry around daily. And for the spontaneous trips that we would do on these vehicles when we need more, like I said, we'll just bolt a chest fridge in if we need. But I wanted to show you guys it coming together like this, just so you can see structurally how it works. It's a pretty modular design. I'm actually sitting in the drawer space, but the subframe is in. We just bolted in the Dometic fridge. You got your little infill panels here, so there's more storage down the side. Like I said, we might look at putting an air tank in here or something like that, or compressor. We want to use it for a little bit and just see maybe the other side can be a bit of recovery gear. It's not going to need too much in this car, but it's always better to have something. And then other than that, that's about it so far. We've got a bolt in the drawer, and I can't wait to show you guys this setup because it's a smick little setup.
Can't wait for you to keep them tidy.
Oh, you reckon?
We're still not finished yet. Getting warmer though.
Very warm.
It is very warm today.
How good does this look? I'm actually stoked with the choice to go with the Dometic fridge. It just looks good as well. Obviously black carpet, matching the black interior, but she's in. So as I said, drawer fridge here, chilled out. Then, it's my favourite part. We obviously have a drawer here for whatever you may put it. When Josh goes to work, you may have grease guns and stuff like that. Or when we go camping, it could be like a little pantry, because down here, you have this that slides out, which is a full table, but we can put like a cutlery and like induction cooker in here, because it's another mini drawer. So I think this is the unreal setup. It's a perfect sort of minimal drawer setup you can go, still get the most out of them. They've also got locks on them as well, so if you're parked on a hill, you can just literally, wherever way they go. They go up, I'm used to them going down. So if you're on a hill, you don't have to worry about them sliding back in or out, because they have lockable motions on them as well. And they all just slide back in. Nice and neat. Just snake. Are you happy with it? Oh, let me... You have a play around with, yeah, you happy? But we are going away literally in 2 days' time, because we are building a car trailer. So tune in for next episode to see why we're building it. And you can finally see the RH hammers we got. Didn't think I'd ever buy the R hammers from ROH.
Hammer time, baby.
It's hammer time, he says. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy this episode. If you have any questions on the 300 series drama, feel free to drop them in the comments. Like I said, I've done a bit of research, but I do encourage you to do your own. I'm not an expert, so I don't feel comfortable giving you guys advice, but I'm happy to point you in the direction on the forums that I learned everything I know. Also, any questions about the draws or the bush wraps, if you want questions on the bush wraps, go back to my last episode. I literally just sit on the highlights. I will answer all your questions there. But if you want questions on the draws, drop them below. I'll link everything in the bio so you guys can check it out. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And I'll see you next week when we go and build a car trailer. I'm sorry to break it to you, but we're not actually going anywhere. So I need you to vacate the vehicle, please. I just heard some noises while we're filming. Excuse me. Stop trying to break into the feed bin. Stop trying to break into it. I see what you're doing. Don't even think about it. And this is why I can't leave you unattended. Come, now, that's enough. Get out, Houdini. No, back. You're so naughty. What?
That's the lunch.
What's lunch?
Yeah.
I'm booting at your party. You think I'm going to be kitchen bitch? It's 30 degrees ago.
There's nothing in the kitchen, babe.
I don't know. Lunch is your problem today, sir?
No regrets.
No regrets. Is that give me your next tattoo?
Yeah.
Tattoo?
Across my chest piece.
I thought you said you don't put bumper stickers on a Ferrari.
You don't put bumper stickers on a Ferrari, no. Put them on Wicked Camp vans.
No, I feel like you fit the Wiki Camper van.
No, I'm a
You
Ferrari.
haven't even got shoes on.
I am a Ferrari.
I don't think Ferraris roll around in Crocs, eh?
If I had a Ferrari, I'd wear Crocs. I do have a farm. I got a farm Ferrari. Look at it. It's the farm Ferrari right here.
It's the Country Kia Carnival.
It's the Country Kia Carnival. It's the farm Ferrari. It's whatever you want to call it. Why have you got all your stuff in my car?
My stuff.
They're your shoes, and that's your helmet.
I don't know what you're talking about. Cut.